Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's our NFC North breakdown for the week, going over all the teams in the NFC North. Start with the Lions massacring the Cowboys on Jerry Jones' birthday. We are kind of mostly talking about how the game went, Hutchinson's injury in there. So if you want to hear more about that, it's more where you got to go. But overall, good game by the Lions. Proves Dallas not to be as good of a team this year, and we keep pace in the NFC North.
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. We talked about the Lions before, so we're talking about them again. So, I like I said, you haven't seen many more perfect games than that. I don't know. You want to attribute some of that to the fact that Dallas, for whatever reason, is god awful. They shouldn't be, but they are. All the injuries they have and everything else, and on top of that, our offense, after a few first couple weeks where they were kind of trying to figuring it out, getting over the rust, have now decided they are pretty much as good as any offense in the NFL. And they're going to have to carry this team now with Aiden Hutchinson kind of being out, and not unless something happens,
Yeah.
in soon or something like that. And they've thrown around names, Myles Garrett. Max Crosby is always somebody that they're talking about. Micah Parsons, even I heard someone say that.
They've been talking about Hendrickson from Cincinnati. So they're thinking that we are going to make a move, but we'll see if they actually.
But you don't know, because I don't think Holmes is the type to want to do that. He may. The fans are going to put a lot of pressure on him. I'm not sure what Sheila idea of it is. If she wants to tell him, look, this is our window, we got to go for it. So if you have to give up some premium draft picks to get a Myles Garrett, then that's what you do. Yeah. And I agree with that. I'd have to see the deal. I'm not saying that you got to give them
3 first and 2 seconds.
The Herschel Walker deal or something like that, or whatever that was. But a number 1 and a number 3, possibly another pick, or James Houston. But James Houston doesn't have much value. But some teams might Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
They may need a quarterback.
But now you don't have a backup quarterback if you trade Hendon Hooker.
Right. But that's the gamble you take. You can't do nothing about that. The injuries are part of the game, and that's why this is an unfair, business. You can't. Any week could be, spell disaster.
Yeah.
You just play and hope for the best. And this week, Aiden went down. I'll be surprised if he's back even next year.
He might be back by the start of next year, but that's if everything goes right.
I'll be surprised if it is. I would say he's going to be back in the middle of next year. But that's, I mean, I don't know. He's a Superman, I guess, and maybe his recuperative powers are 10 times that of a normal human being. But as you know, your mom and my wife just broke her leg, and she's laid up for 6 months. She's not going to be normal again.
3 months. It's not that bad. You make it 10 times worse than it is. It's only been 3 months.
It's been 3 months, but she ain't going to be herself for another 3 or 4 months.
Moving on to the other teams in the NFC North. The Chicago Bears, they had a great game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, the Jaguars suck. But Caleb Williams looked good. 35-16, the final score of that game. Caleb Williams was 23 for 29. 4 TDs and interception. Really a good day for him.
That's probably been his best day, would you say, so far?
I mean, he had a 300-yard day, but probably 4 TDs is, I think, a career high for him.
Right. I mean, he's starting to look like the guy who Chicago wanted. And again, like I said, it's you don't jump out of the gate very often looking like a superstar. It takes you a while. And, right, the Jaguars stink. So
they do. So those people saying he's their savior at the moment,
that's another name that they put out for us. Trayvon Martin is the other guy from the Jags, because they're doing so badly. I don't get it. I don't. Do you know why? What do you think that team is doing so badly with
I have no
Trevor
idea.
Lawrence?
I have no idea what
He's a
they
great
hit.
quarterback.
Because 3 years ago they were Super Bowl contenders, and now
Right.
they're
What
nothing.
happened?
But I mean, they got
I
rushed
don't
on
get
for
it.
another 152. It's just the Jags have fallen. Trevor Lawrence cannot hold on to keeping them in the games, and they have fallen from grace of being a great team.
I don't understand. I don't.
Moving on down the division, the Packers, they took care of business against the Cardinals pretty easily. Jordan Love back to what he needs to be. He threw for a nice 258 yards, was 22 of 32 with 4 TDs as well. And they also ran for 179 yards on the day on Arizona. So Packers still looking good. Everybody in our division at least has 4 wins, 6 games into the season.
Right.
So the division is kind of looking really, really tough right now. And there's a very good chance that all of us make the playoffs.
I don't know about the Bears. I think, like I said, the Bears are going to be hit and miss. They're going to look like crap one week. They're going to look great another week. I don't think they'll have much consistency. But yeah, the Minnesota Vikings, the Packers, and us, we are the toughest division in football right now
at the moment.
But like I said, Minnesota isn't playing much of anybody. Next week will be really interesting.
Yes.
It's going to be sad because I don't think we can beat them without Aiden Hutchinson.
It's going to be a tough matchup. We need to
put some pressure on the quarterback, and I don't think we're going to be able to.
It's going to be a tough matchup. That's your next division matchup next week is Minnesota versus Detroit in Minnesota. For the most part, I believe Detroit is I don't think they're favorited anymore.
I can't believe they'd be favored in that game.
I don't think they were favorited before the Hutchinson injury, and now Minnesota is favorited by 2.5 instead of the Lions
that would
by
make
2.5.
Sense.
So it has swapped.
And Minnesota has a very good defense. Now, again, they've been playing good teams, so you base your thing on that. But I do think they have a good defense, and I don't think we're going to be able to walk through them like we did Dallas.
Yeah.
I think is 24 to 28 points going to be enough to beat that team?
We'll see.
I'm not sure because they're going to have, unless something changes and unless Darnold should have all day to throw the ball.
He should. The pressure will not be on him as much, which gives Vikings an advantage because Justin Jefferson will be out there to catch the ball.
It totally changes
make it a lot easier on him.
Totally changes the game. Hutch is, God, he makes such a difference. Run game too. Are you going to be able to stop these guys? We'll see.
Looking other spots in the division. The Packers next week are hosting the Texans. That should be a good matchup. Texans are 5-1. Packers are 4-2. Green Bay is favorited by 2.5 in that game too. So they have a test next week. And we'll see what happens there. I think the Packers probably could pull it out because they're playing really well. But at the same time, Houston's a pretty good team.
Well, are the Texans playing better lately? Because they look pretty average.
They are currently 5-1. So
Texans are?
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking that they were kind of down or something, but not that far down. But I thought that I didn't know they were 5-1. That's pretty crazy.
And the Bears not having the easiest matchup either.
Are they in Texas?
Houston? Yeah, no, they're in Green Bay.
I don't know. Like I said, Green Bay's been playing so good and consistently lately. I'd have to give that matchup to them.
Yeah. Looking at the Bears, they are going to be playing in Washington next week against the Commanders. The Surging Commanders, I don't think they're going to make it out of that game with a win just because of how well the Commanders have been playing. They say it is basically almost a 50-50 shot between the two teams, but Jaden Daniels has been playing great. It's your battle of the rookie QBs in Washington this week.
And I'm sure Caleb Williams is going to his ego will feel that pressure to try to outduel his counterpart, who's actually had a better year than him so far.
Yes. So we'll see how that goes. I think for the most part, you're probably going to have 2 losses and 2 wins in the division this week. Obviously, because 2 teams are playing each other. I think the Bears will probably lose to the Commanders. But with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think is going to happen inside the division this week. And until next time, see everybody soon.